Welcome everybody to Leveraging the WIDA English Language Development Standards, a renewed focus on equity for multilingual learners. I'm Robin Fleck, an ESOL consultant working with the Maine Department of Education.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Carey, also an ESOL consultant for the Maine Department of Education. Today, we're going to be talking about a few objectives. We're hoping that you'll gain familiarity with and an understanding of how to leverage the 4 big ideas presented in the WIDA English Language Development Standards Framework in the 2020 edition. The first is equity of opportunity and access. Second, integration of content and language. Third, collaboration among stakeholders. And fourth, functional approach to language development.
I will note on our terminology, students with a primary or home language other than or in addition to English are now referred to as multilingual learners here in the state of Maine. We want to think about our students in an asset-based way. The federal language still uses the term English learners, so you will see that written in federal guidance. But here in Maine, we are referring to our students as MLs or multilingual learners, and multilingual learners participate in English for speakers of other language programs, otherwise known as ESOL. So a student might participate in an ESOL program, or their teacher might be referred to as an ESOL teacher. So that's a little bit of a change that happened recently.
The information that we're looking at today comes from WIDA, and WIDA is part of the University of Wisconsin-Madison. WIDA is an education organization that supports schools in serving multilingual learners in several ways, through standards and assessment, teaching tools and instructional support to make language development and learning more effective, opportunities for professional learning to empower educators, and continual collaboration with educators, state and local education agencies, researchers, policymakers, and thought leaders worldwide. There are 41 member states in the WIDA consortium, including territories and other federal agencies, and over 500 members in the international WIDA consortium.
The Maine learning results and the ELD standards are aligned, and the ELD standards function as a key that gives you access to the Maine learning results by unlocking the language demands of the content. Multilingual learners acquire content and language simultaneously. Content becomes the vehicle for language learning, and ELD stands for English Language Development Standards. Just a little clarifier there.
Now we're going to look at the 5 English language development standards statements. The WIDA English Language Development Standards Framework provides a foundation for curriculum, instruction, and assessment for multilingual learners in kindergarten through grade 12. The ELD Standards Framework is centered on equity and fosters the assets, contributions, and potential of multilingual learners. The ELD standard statements provide educators with a connection between language development and academic content area learning. The language used to learn, explore, collaborate, and demonstrate learning for each content area is highlighted in these statements. The first statement is language for social and instructional purposes. What is social and instructional language? Social and instructional language reflects the way in which students interact socially to build community and establish working relationships with peers and teachers in ways that support learning. This statement around language for social and instructional purposes connects with all of the other statements, as language for social and instructional purposes is woven through all areas of learning. Following that, we have language for language arts, language for mathematics, language for science, and language for social studies. So we're really focusing on the language that is used for developing content, knowledge, and understanding in those additional 4 areas.
The ELD standards are centered around 4 big ideas, and these 4 big ideas are interrelated: equity of opportunity and access, the integration of content and language. Collaboration among stakeholders is key to making all of this work for the students and the staff who are providing the instruction, and a functional approach to language development. We'll speak further about what this means in the next slides. So, equity of opportunity and access. What does this mean? It means that your multilingual learners have a civil right to meaningful access to their education and to have equitable opportunities, realizing that equitable does not always mean equal. That language objectives are essential to providing meaningful access to content. So every content lesson should be accompanied by a language objective. Rebecca will talk more about that. Multilingual learners learn the same grade level rigorous academic content as their non-multilingual peers, and multilingual's primary or home languages are assets to be leveraged in the lesson design and classroom instruction.
Now we'll talk about how does it look in practice. Some elements include every teacher being well equipped to meet the needs of multilingual learners. And multilingual learners are engaged in learning at all academic levels. Professional learning on strategies and differentiation for educators is robust, so that educators feel well equipped and prepared. Another element in practice, which Robin mentioned, is developing both content and language objectives for every lesson. Learning is scaffolded, and multilingual learners demonstrate their learning in a variety of ways. Multilingual learners have access to bilingual learning resources and use their languages in the classroom. Looking back at the content and language objectives, you're familiar with developing content objectives in your lesson planning, and developing language objectives should be something that happens side by side with those content objectives. And you can develop language objectives using resources like understanding your students' current English language proficiency levels, understanding key language uses, which are a part of this framework, and understanding what the demands are in your content area for language tasks.
Sorry about the slide blip there for a moment. Integration of content and language, really they are interdependent, and the focus is that your multilingual learners are learning language through the study of a specific content. And as Rebecca mentioned, the language features are so important in order to accomplish a language function that's necessary to work with the academic content that is being presented.
And talking about how it looks in practice, from the beginning, multilingual learners are acquiring grade level content and academic English simultaneously. We don't need to wait for a certain level of proficiency before multilingual learners are able to participate in grade level content and to learn academic English. All teachers take personal responsibility for including content and language objectives in every lesson. And administrators include this in teacher observations.
Collaboration amongst stakeholders. What does that mean? It means meeting the needs of your multilingual learners is a shared responsibility among all educators and school staff. All students are all staff's responsibility. Administrators must put in place structures and practices that promote a culture of shared responsibility, and keeping in mind that your families are essential contributors to the student's education. And this might be a new concept for some of the families, that they are contributing information that will enhance their child's education. And you might have to spend some time teaching your families how important their input is to the educational plan of each student.
Further looking at how this would look in practice, it would include adequate shared planning time included in teacher schedules so that collaboration is possible. Also, ESOL teachers have a voice in decision-making. And multilingual learners with disabilities receive coordinated ESOL and special education services. And families have a continual opportunity to share insights and feedback on the educational program. And they have a part in developing their child's plan for learning and a voice in ways to improve it.
A functional approach to language development is thinking of language as a tool for accessing and acquiring the academic content. Teachers need to think about, in order to complete this academic task and demonstrate comprehension of information, what language is necessary, so that multilingual learners acquire the features of language in order to accomplish that specific language function.
And looking at that in practice, teachers would share with students the purpose for learning language features so that students understand the way language is applied and the immediate reason for practicing that language skill. Multilingual learners are engaged in learning tasks that support them in accomplishing a genuine communicative purpose. So the functional approach to language development is continuously connecting students with genuine opportunities for communication with real purpose.
So what are your next steps going to be as you familiarize yourself with the standards? Would be to continue to explore the WIDA ELD standards framework. There is a very large text that can be purchased from WIDA, but fortunately it's also available for free on the WIDA website right here at this link. You can engage in WIDA self-paced e-workshops. There are several, but there is one that really delves into the standards framework. It's very well done, and like I said, it's self-paced. If you have a team of teachers that are interested in this topic, it's really great to do that workshop as a team, because there are discussion questions and activities to apply to your classroom and then process the information after you try practicing it. And we sure hope you'll sign up for the Maine DOE ESOL listserv. April Perkins Weekly publishes a newsletter with professional learning offerings, articles of interest, and announcements about upcoming information and events.
For further professional learning opportunities, we have embedded some links here. You can, as Robin mentioned, go to the multilingual learner page of the Maine DOE website. There are many opportunities listed there for professional learning under our professional learning calendar. And as Robin also mentioned, subscribe to the listserv and the Maine DOE newsroom. At the top, there is a WIDA self-paced workshop link. There are many self-paced e-workshops in addition to the one about the standards framework. There's also a wonderful opportunity to enroll in the Excel Leadership Academy. The Excel Leadership Academy offers free micro-credentials, graduate level self-paced credits, and includes a $250 stipend for each micro-credential that you complete. And there is enrollment happening right now for that. If you are interested, you can click on the link that's embedded here. There are additional opportunities for virtual professional learning here as well. There's one specifically about engaging multilingual learners and multilingual newcomers coming up. And there's also an opportunity to have further professional learning at your individual school or district. And you can sign up for that using the link at the bottom of the page and completing the professional learning request form.
Thank you for participating in this with us today. If you would care to contact us, Rebecca's contact information is there, as well as mine, Robin, and April. Our contacts there. We're happy to support you, answer questions, and make ourselves available to you as you work to become more familiar with the ELD standards. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.